Well, now we've come to a vine that has been pruned and the excess canes has been removed. What we are going to do now is trim to length, take out the excess laterals and tendrils and tie the vine down so it's finished. What we're looking for in the canes that we are to wrap down, wood that's hardened off all the way through to the top of the cane. There's no green stems left that will die off during the winter. Looking for evenness of cane so that the internode gap is similar on all the canes we're laying down and the thickness of the cane is even. So we're hoping to lay down canes that will have a similar number of buds on each cane. We're also checking to make sure that there's no obvious disease on the canes which would cause problems next year. Right, now we've looked at these canes and we've selected this cane here on this side of the wire to go on the bottom, the cane here to be bent back over and brought down to the bottom wire over here, and this cane to go to the top wire on the same side. So we have symmetry of the canes, two from this side and one from this side. Then these will be removed as spurs after we've laid the other two canes down. We can see with this cane it's important to look for the whole length when selecting them. The cane looks fine down here, nice and thick, but as we come up we see it's been tipped out and this wouldn't be long enough to lay down onto the wire. So we've selected the canes. When we bend this one down successfully, we'll remove this cane here as a spur. We'll leave that one as a spur here, but we'll leave that until we have trimmed and tied this cane down in case of breakage. When we're coming to trim the canes, we want to remove the laterals, tendrils and the raki from last year, but we don't want to damage the buds that will be retained for this year's growth. So we need to angle the cut to protect the bud just there. We've selected this cane to lay down, so we are now removing the material that can harbour disease, the raki from last year, laterals and tendrils. And then cutting approximately to length. And again we're removing last year's raki which can harbour diseases and laterals and tendrils, making sure that we don't damage the bud. Now the canes have been trimmed and cut to the approximate length. We've brought them over onto the inside of the wire so that we can wrap, now ready for wrapping them down onto the wire. I'm choosing to wrap this cane onto the bottom wire, and I'll straighten up the trunk and then support the cane at the bend and get a nice tight wrap on that first twist. For tying, we're using twisty ties, turned around the vine and then securely twisted so that they will not come off during the season. It's now securely wrapped. Now we're going to bring this one down. We're trying to make sure that the cane is wrapped reasonably tightly on the wire, so supporting it on the wire, twisting it round, and cutting it so the length between the last bud and the next vine's bud is around about a secateurs length. Chosen this cane to go onto the top wire, and we'll try and bend it down successfully. And again, you don't want to put too much pressure on the wire so it's coming down, it's sagging. We just want to hold it there and then wrap the cane around it. Because it comes up onto the top wire, to get the similar number of buds, we'll actually cut it shorter than the bottom cane. We're only going to put 3 canes on it. So now we've successfully trimmed and tied down the 3 canes. Last part of the job is to remove any unwanted canes and to cut to length the spurs. Leave this as an upward facing spur just past the last bud. This cane is not required and we do not want it as a spur, so we will cut it close but not flush against the trunk. And this is the last cane which we will retain as a spur as well. So we leave a centimetre gap behind the last bud. This vine's now completed. We have 3 canes trimmed and tied onto the wire. 2 spurs have been left on either side for next year's growth. We can get it on and do the next one.